Good morning and good
Morning.
evening. So nice. In fact, we it doesn't feel like we've gone live at all, but for everybody else, we have Shohini Chakraborty and Priosmita Chakraborty joined us from California, USA. And welcome to both of you on Festivals of India. Thank you so much for taking time out. It's such a pleasure finally to see both of you, is what I was telling you backstage. And we chatted up, we warmed up. It felt so good.
And
So,
yeah, thanks for
Thank
inviting
you for
us.
having us.
Yeah, it's been
no,
a
no,
pleasure.
pleasure is always ours, trust me. In fact, for everyone who is watching us, live, Shohini is actually the star guest. I don't know if Shohini is feeling like a star guest, but I can see that spotlight on her head. So she is
Yeah, from the light above.
very, very dramatic, right? So, so she is the one in the spotlight, and Priyasmita is her mother. So Shohini is a teenage sensation. She's been a singer for many years. She's currently not just singing, but she's also composing, and she's doing her own videos, and she's got her own channel. And we actually, I came across Shohini's. Link, I think, Priyasmita, if I'm not too wrong, on Facebook, and that's how we got talking. And I said, we have to have her because she's so good. So that's how this
Thank
whole
you.
connection started. So it's such an honor. It's so nice when you connect to somebody because of not for any other reason but pure talent, right? And it always starts out, that relationship or the friendship always starts out on such a huge positive note. So Shohini, you are an awesome singer. Okay, that's like a fact. You have to say yes,
Thank
and
you.
you have to park it. You have to just park it. Why don't we start with you, and you tell us a little more about yourself and how this whole thing started. I know 13 years is not a lot of thing, but you've done quite a few things, compared to a lot of 13-year-olds. So why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, there's not much to say. I mean, I grew up just listening to a lot of music and just being involved with a lot of music. I mean, I remember I've seen old videos and things where I'm just, standing in front of the TV. There's some music video, some song playing, and I'm just dancing, singing along just as a 4 or 5 year old. And I just kind of got connected with music. And then my mom, she kind of like guided me into music. And then from there, just continued.
So sweet. So do you have like any singers in the family you always got inspired by, or I mean, how did the inspiration come? I know I'm asking you tough questions, Shohini. You can always tell me to shut up, and you can ask me some tough ones whenever you want.
I mean, my grandma is a great singer. My mom's side grandma, she's a great
Ah,
singer. And my mom thinks she's a terrible singer, but she is a pretty good
Oh
singer.
my goodness,
She's
no.
not terrible, but she is pretty good.
oh, that's nice. So you have some live role models at home, which is excellent, because that's as good as it gets, right? Because if you have only people on the TV screen, it's easy, I know, to kind of pick up something from there. But having somebody just around you, living, breathing music, I think is always that much more inspiring. So, Priyasvita, you just said yes, I have to do it. You were in US, for heaven's sake. How did you manage to get trained Indian singers, to upskill her? How did you manage
Oh,
that?
no, there are a lot of Indians over here where we live. In
Mhm.
California, it's like a IT hub, and then there are lots of Indian singers over here. Some people, actually not mostly over here where we are. Like we are not in the Bay Area, like I was telling you. We do have teachers, Indian teachers who are teaching on the side, like not their main
Yeah.
profession, but they are teaching Hindustani classical music. She has been learning Western also, but she also has a teacher from India who she has been learning from like since the last 5 years, I guess. Yeah,
Wow.
I don't remember. Long
yeah,
time.
long time, like since
Long
she was very
time.
little. So yeah, so she has been learning from him as well. He's a Bengali, but he lives in Gurgaon. So
Hmm.
yes, so she learns guitar from an Indian, and then she learns piano also. So Western classical, Hindustani classical from two teachers, and then um, piano and guitar. So
Now there's no other option but to Shohini make a career out of this. Shohini, you've invested far too much of energy. Then have you started making plans? I know 13 years is a short time, but I think I had started thinking wisely, a little wisely at least, when I was 13. So what have you started planning for yourself? Have you decided which direction or anything of that sort?
You know, I don't exactly know. I'm
I
still
can
trying to
imagine.
figure out which way I want to go. I mean, I love music for sure, and I mean, I know for sure it's hard to make a career out of music. It's very competitive and it's very difficult.
Hmm.
So, I don't know if it'll be like stable, but I mean, if I get a chance in music, then definitely music. I mean, I really love music.
You know, one thing about you, Shohini, and this is, I'm not talking as somebody who's, sort of hosting you right now. I'm just, so I'll tell you what attracted me to your videos, okay, or to the way that you were presenting that, those songs in the link that I had seen. And trust me, even if I don't know how to sing or that, I can dance to save my life, but I can't, sing to save my life. That's the problem with me. But I've been always surrounded by very good, very talented singers, right? So there's one which is one quality which is a pure delivery quality, right? That person can really, really sing well, okay, and that voice comes across, across. When the person is doing their job. The other aspect is when somebody can sing and emote and perform, like it's an act, if you know what I'm saying, right? It
Mhm.
doesn't feel like you're a backstage singer, you're somewhere in the front stage and you can emote and you can act and you make that a performance, right? More than just singing. So when I heard you, I saw you perform, not just sing, if you know what I'm saying. So the
Yeah.
way that you carry yourself, the way that you sing, you're always performing. You're actually more of a performer and then a singer, if you know what I'm saying, right? So you're
Mhm.
actually living
Yeah.
that part or doing that part very, very well compared to some of the, very good singers I know, for example. They love singing, so they wouldn't mind just singing backstage. So there is a part of you which is very dramatic, somebody who loves to uh, act and emote. And did you realize that? Did you realize that bit? Did somebody else tell you this?
Actually, no, I always thought I was, I don't know, terrible at acting. Um,
Oh, no,
I
no, no.
I grew up watching lots of movies. I love watching movies. I love watching TV.
yeah, like right now, I can tell you she has more knowledge about Bollywood movies than me. Like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised. Like, yeah, you grew up over here. You are not supposed to know so much about Hindi movies and Hindi movie stars.
I pretty much
I,
learned Hindi by watching movies.
Yeah, she
yeah.
can
See,
speak Hindi as well just by watching Hindi movies and those soap operas.
I mean,
no, I know. I think
know.
I think I think that could be one of the reason because unknowingly or knowingly, it just creeps into you, right? The whole way of going about the screen space, how to walk and how to move and how, because I know some of the people who have some of the children or even grown-ups for that matter who have a lot of they're very conscious when they come in front of a camera, or the way they talk and behave, but they can't be natural performers, if you know what I'm saying. And that takes away the beauty sometimes, of the act. Can you see my little one out there? don't
Oh,
don't
I'm
let
sure
him go.
she is
I already
watching.
noticed.
Don't he loves doing lives with me, okay, so
Well,
he'll
I
keep
She
love
moving around.
I
loves,
love
like,
those.
she
I
has been
love
pestering me
those.
about having a puppy. I said, no, it's too much work.
This one, sorry, I'm deviating, but this one is he's so naughty. He knows that I'm in front of a camera, and I've got him on my lap at times. So now he's got addicted. He always wants to be on the lives. So he'll sit right behind, though the couch is like all the way up
It's
till
built
there.
for
So
camera.
yeah, can you see that he's doing all kinds of actions? Okay, so he'll stretch and he'll roll and all of that. So let him keep entertaining you while I come back to this. So that this is exactly what I noted about Shohini Priosmita, and I felt that was very nice, right? Because I think children of all age groups have this whole fear either of speaking, emoting, presence of camera, and that Shohini, you're a natural. So in that area, you don't have any. I don't think you have. You remember the video that you sent me, right, of the entire performance strung together? My God, I've got so many of these recorded performances. I don't think anybody else comes even close. I think it's done so
Thank
well.
you.
No, so if you've done all of it, Shoini, you need to take it out there because it's come out so well. It actually looks like somebody is put it together, and it's good quality stuff. It's not something that is just made at in a rush or stuff. So very passionately done, and I completely enjoyed noting that about you. So whatever you do, remember that these are the qualities that are there, okay, and you can't ignore them because they will surface sometime or the other in life. Otherwise, you will not be able to box them up too well in the whole attempt of trying to make a career out of something else. So ensure that there's always some space left for this. Okay, so this is my suggestion to you. And Priyasmita, you were telling me how difficult it was for you to actually ensure that Shohini got the right kind of the trained experts to help her. Because it's not easy for you, like you said. Being a Bengali out of the community there, I'm sure there's a large community, but
Yeah.
then you're out of the land, right? You're in a
Right,
foreign
right. So
land. Yeah.
the most difficult challenge that most of the Bengalis and most of the Indians face over here is for the kids to learn their own language.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so everyone like both my kids actually have always been admired because they have no, like, if you hear them speaking Bengali, you wouldn't even notice any difference between a kid in Calcutta versus a kid born and brought up over here.
Hmm.
So that has always been a challenge for everyone, but I have always been lucky in the way that, like, we have always emphasized speaking in Bengali at our home, so we have never encouraged them to speak. So when my kids talk among themselves, they are always conversing in English. But
Right.
whenever they're talking to us, the first tendency is to talk in English. But then we have, like, especially when they were young kids, we have always said, "Oh, we don't understand English, so tell the same thing whatever you were saying in Bengali." And then another advantage is that my parents have always lived with us since we were born. So,
Oh,
so having grandparents around also help. Like both of them, even when they were young, they used to know how to read, and my son even knew how to write Bengali. They have gotten out of the habit now with their other academic pressure and all that. They're not used to it right now. But at a younger age, they could even read and write Bengali. She can still read Bengali.
I can't write.
She can
I
write, but if it's
I
not a,
can't I can't do both. I
yeah.
can't do both.
So yeah, if it's
Okay.
not a very difficult, like, she can still manage reading Bengali if it's not a juktakhor, if you know
Very,
what I
it's
mean.
very slow, but
Yeah, very slow, but at
Yeah.
least she can. So at least I'm happy that she doesn't have any weird American accent when she speaks Bengali, or for that matter, Hindi.
I think
So
what helped is that like when after I started speaking, the first language I learned was Bengali, and then after I started, I mean, I remember my brother, he had difficulty in school because he's learned Bengali at home and he's going to school and he's
Yeah.
just talking in Bengali and no one has any idea what he's saying.
yeah, so we had to actually tell that, like, the basic, like, when they were going to preschool, we had to tell the teacher the basic Bengali words because at that time he didn't know any of the, because we have
You
never
you
emphasized.
taught
Yeah. So
you
I can
taught
tell you
them
one.
how.
Yeah, I can.
It was easier for me because after he learned English, he started to speak us
Yeah.
English at home
Yeah.
after he went to school, so it was easier for me to start picking up English.
Yeah, so
So
I can tell
I
you
never
one.
had any difficulty.
Yeah, so I can tell you one funny story that happened when we were first visiting India after they were born. My son was like around 2 at that time, and she was like, no, my son was 2 years and 7 months, and she was like, yeah, 7 months. So we went to Calcutta, and then my mashi, thinking that, oh, these are kids born and brought up in US. So she, like, somehow, like, there was a picture of a tiger, and my mashi came and told my son, look, that's the tiger. So, like, 2 years and 7 months
I
old
remember
boy.
this story.
And then my son said, no, it's in Bengali, of course. At that time, he couldn't speak English. So he said, no, it's a tiger. No. So then my mashi asked, then what is it? It's a bug. So he didn't
Oh my
even know
God.
that the English of bag is tiger. So I'm like, okay.
Oh,
So
this is
that's how.
exactly how it should be. This is exactly how it should be. I know we are finding it funny, but this is exactly how it should be. I'll tell you my story once you finish. Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. So my machine, oh, okay. So she was like feeling awkward. Oh, she said the word in English, thinking that he wouldn't know that it's called bag in Bengali. So
Yeah. Shohini, if you don't, I think mom is so right, because I think what she's done with you guys is the right direction of teaching you the language. Because what happens in today's world, because everybody is scattered all over the place, and we don't really seem to. I'm not saying remember the roots, but actually identify with the roots because of the location
Mhm.
we are in, right? Because now y'all are outside. I am a Probashi who's never been in Calcutta. Then even in my case, though I was outside Calcutta, I was all over the country, and then my kids were born outside. So people have different stories now. Now, what is happening in Bargain is that everybody is losing that touch with their own language. It doesn't have to take you outside India, actually. Even in our case, what happened was exactly the same. So my grandparents and everybody was living with us. We stayed in a joint family when I was, growing up in Vizag. My grandparents very clearly ensured that we learned Bengali. We were always speaking Bengali and things like that. But the moment I stepped out, I went to Bombay and my kids were born there, and I was not very particular, right? Because I married again somebody who's outside the community. I married somebody who's a Maharashtrian. So for me, language was like, as long as they know both the languages, they know a little bit of Hindi, English, we should be okay. But that was not the end of it, because we were both working. The kids went to a daycare. They picked up whatever language they got from there. So everybody has a circumstance. But then what happens ultimately to your mother language, right? Mother tongue at the end of it. You have now a mother tongue and a father tongue. And God forbid, in a few years, you'll have a grandfather tongue, a grandmother tongue. You'll have a father tongue, a mother tongue, uncle tongue, auntie tongue also. So it's going to be lots of tongues. Seriously, that's how the families are becoming now. So I feel somewhere, rather than forgetting the language, we should actually learn as many more as possible, right? I mean, I'm not like pro Bengali only. I'm talking about any mother tongue, right? Mother tongue, father tongue, pair, whichever language tongue that we have in the family. But we need to have, I think, our children who are born, who are born in the family, taking the generations forward, actually picking up the best that they can get from the family. Which better school will they get where you can get like a multilingual education, right? Like at least some regional languages. Which so I think, Shani, it's perfect. The schools had to learn Bengali for you. That's the way it should be. That's the way. Because why should we prepare? Yeah? I mean, why should we let go of our mother tongue, especially in those years where a child can actually pick up a language the fastest, right? Because they're not really using too much of their head. They're just using memory, and it's the fastest learning pace at that point of time. So don't lose touch with Bengali. I keep polishing up mine with my kids at home, so it's all good. But in all these years, did you find did you find yourself understanding Bengali the proper, the proper literature from the music and the songs that you sang? Did it push you a little into the literature side of it as well to understand? Because I know, you the link I think I saw of you was of Shomitro, right? And then you had strung a couple of songs about him, or from his movies. So did you get time to read up on people like them, or Ray, or any of these amazing people we have from the industry here?
I think I've always been more into Hindi movies. If you say Bengali movies, I haven't seen too many. Just
Hmm.
actually, I haven't seen that many Bengali
no, we recently
movies.
saw that Bengali movie of Soumitra Chatterjee.
I've seen
Soumitra
some.
Chatterjee, Ami Miss Kolkata.
Yeah,
He was that.
yeah.
Bashanti Mila. Remember we saw that movie recently? Very Bashanti Mila in the girls' hostel and boys' hostel.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I haven't seen too many Bengali
Yeah.
movies, mainly Hindi movies, because I mean, in the US, it's more common on all the streaming services and like all the TV that there's going to be Hindi movies. There are very few Bengali movies, and I guess I
Yeah,
haven't
I think that
really
could be a
seen too
challenge.
many.
But she's hooked to Bengali serials.
Yeah, we got the shows. We got the shows. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Because you know what happened here is that when I have never been into, you know, Bengali channels, right? So I missed a lot of movies in my life. And my mother always, has been the force. So she's been like, they call me Pinky at home. So Pinky, you're losing touch. Pinky, you're losing touch. You know, you're not talking Bengali. You're not watching Bengali. You're not doing anything Bengali. And I keep, I was always like, মা ঠিক আছে চলছে, I'm being able to manage, it's fine. And I was proficient in English, which took me around. Hindi was also good. But then this pandemic year, Shohini, something very interesting happened, okay? And so I'm talking from March till I think June, March, April, May, June, 4 months. So my mom got stuck with me in Bangalore, okay? So we were going to shift from Bangalore to Vizag, and the plan was already made last year that we were going to relocate and I was going to start all over again from this place. So we were all boxed up, okay, except for maybe the TV and one bed and some things in the kitchen. Everything was boxed up in Bangalore, and then the lockdown happened, right? So we were like in a mess because we didn't have stuff. We didn't have. Then if the house was all cleared up of the stuff, we were going to leave in March. 2 days before, I think the lockdown was planted, and then we got stuck very badly. So the TV was the only thing that we had, and our phones, of course. So what we decided is that let's do something different. Okay. And so my mom, me, four girls in Bangalore. Okay. So my two daughters, me and my mom, and we were sitting and discussing one day over lunch, I think lunch or dinner, I don't remember. But we said, why don't we watch one Bengali movie every day? We'll figure out which channel, this, that, karke. So I said, Ma, I want to do something that I've never done because there's so much of time now. There's no point in sort of going back to the same books you've read, or how much can you be on the phone scrolling on social media. And I was a very anti social media person. Look at me now, right? But anyway, so we did one Bengali movie a day, every day at a fixed time in the evening. I think this was sometime before dinner or after dinner. Yeah, I think after dinner. We had a dinner early. We watched one movie which all four of us discussed, agreed that yes, we wanted to watch it, and we saw it. And we must have seen like so many now that I'm thinking about it. And that's how I got to see all of Shomitro's movies, all of Ray's movies, all the fascinating people, Apuna Shen's movies. And it was such a revelation, Shohini, because I always felt that I don't know, for some big reason, I used to feel that Bengali movies are very slow and boring. I had that, sort of inception for some weird reason, because every time I saw somebody watch a movie, it never would get over, right? And I was in between things and I was running in and out. But I enjoyed myself. I learned so many things about Bengali cinema, and I realized that Bengali cinema is probably the most encompassing format available because they just don't talk about Bengali tradition. I think they touch upon everything. When Bengali cinema can have global concepts, they can have a global framework. I've seen stories where Bengalis are, it's about a story of a Bengali family living outside the country, and very, very amazing, right? So amazing culture, amazing tradition, and it's transversal in the sense that it goes across borders. So beautiful revelation. And I realized that it just takes 3 or 4 months, right, to get a grip on things. It doesn't take more than that. We spend 2 hours every day, and I felt proficient at the end of it. So I was like, not bad, some mission accomplished. And the kids too. So my 10-year-old, my 14-year-old, me and mom were like glued, and then they were like, deciding, the kids were actually deciding which one to watch the next day. So it was all good. They picked up so much of the language in return. So
Yeah, movies
that's
help. Movies help teach a
yeah,
language.
yeah. No, but that happens. Like you rightly said, Bollywood is most spoken about. It's also most spent on, right? So
Yeah.
everybody thinks that that's the only thing about India. But India otherwise has such amazing regional movies. You should see some of the Malayali stuff that I have seen, or the Oriya movies that I have seen. Amazing talent from all over the place. So do that, just pick on a vacation time and put a calendar time, and just go pick on any regional content, and you'll find it. Trust me, there's so much of stuff on Netflix, and I think you have all these channels there. Anyway, so enough of that. Now tell me about this amazing experience you had with Saregamapa. You came to Bombay, you were saying, for 2 months. Why didn't you tell us a little about that?
It was about 2 years ago. I mean, it all feels like a dream now, honestly. It's all like blurry, but also vivid. Also, I
Okay.
mean, I think we left in November, right? We left in
November.
November in 2018.
Yes.
Yeah, 2018. We left in November, and I mean, we went to Mumbai, and when we went there for the first day, the first audition, I mean, I've cleared like the first level with an online audition, and
Hmm.
then I went to the second level in Mumbai, and it was crazy. There were so many
Like she
people.
was number
3,000
3000
something. Yeah,
something.
it was like 3,000
Nice.
And then there were like
3,014.
thousands of kids
It
behind
was a
her in the
huge
line.
line. It was a
Like we
huge
had
line.
never experienced that. We just saw it on TV before, like the door opens and then they just show it like in fast
Yeah.
motion. But that's kind of what we had seen. Like the gates open at 9 and then there are like thousands of
People
kids
are
behind
running.
her. It's like
Crazy.
Oh
it's
my
so
God.
crazy.
How did you come across? You just applied and you got
So,
selected, or how?
so yes, I just yes. I saw this thing that this like online website that they were advertising. They were saying that auditions are opening for Saregama. So I just and they said that the first round will be online. They're going to accept online videos. So I just casually sent it, and then I got the call back, and then said that. And then she was in sixth grade at that time, so there was like I said, okay, we can even if she gets selected, we can manage a couple of months off.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
because so then, but we never thought. I never thought that she would get selected, anyways. But then, so they said, oh, you have to come for the auditions finally in Mumbai or Kolkata, wherever. So then the Mumbai audition was the last before they would shortlist the few. So since like we wanted to minimize our stay as much as possible, so we said, okay, we chose the first December date in Mumbai, and that was the last audition in before that there was in Kolkata sometime in November. So we went to Kolkata, then we went to Mumbai for that audition, and then like I said, that experience was amazing. There were like thousands and thousands of kids, and we were like, okay, you just try it
It's like
out, just see, yeah,
there's so many volunteers
yeah.
for from
It
the
was like,
team,
yeah,
and they're just like
Yeah.
guiding huge groups of people, like go this way, go that way, go
yeah.
that
It was
way.
like,
You guys come with me.
that's
You guys
okay.
come go with her. You guys go with him. It's like crazy.
Yes, so and that at that time it was all hours. Like you arrange your own place to stay because nothing was finalized. You come to give the auditions at that time. So we rented a place and because we didn't know how long they couldn't tell us from before. Like even if you get selected, how long you have to stay. So anyway, so we went on the first day of audition, and that was round 3. And then
Yeah,
that was round 2. Okay, no, there were 2 round of auditions online.
oh,
Yeah, so that was round 3, the
Okay.
first day. Yeah, so the kids we were seeing over there, some of them didn't even like, not everybody would give online auditions first. So they were like, some of them on that same day were having the first audition
First
round.
round.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
My God.
So
So must
yeah,
have been hours of waiting. Hours of
uh-huh,
waiting out there. Must have been
yeah.
hours of waiting. Hmm.
Right, right.
mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so then, like, so we went inside. There was this registration and everything. She was given the number 3000 something. I still have that thing because it's like a good memory for us. Our
I can imagine.
souvenir. Yeah. So then,
Right.
after that, they said, "Oh, we'll call you at the end of the day, and to tell you if she got selected to the fourth
No, no, no,
rounder."
no, no. That's not what happened.
No, they were. Oh, yeah, yeah.
They,
They were.
no, 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 no.
Okay, you can tell. You can tell.
So they
Okay.
took us.
So
So
Shohini, tell us.
The
Huh.
different
they
groups.
sectioned
Yeah,
us into
I
like a
remember.
group of 5 or 6 people, and what
Hmm.
they did is the like they took one by one person. There were so many rooms. It was in a school, so it was like
Oh,
in a classroom. They took one person. There was a panel of people.
Musicians also. There were
Yeah,
live
there were live
musicians.
musicians, and you told them a song, they would right then and there start playing with you. I mean, it
oh
was
my God.
crazy. In every classroom, there was a set of musicians, and they would take groups
Oh,
of 5, 6 people, and they would have like one person going and the rest of the people sitting outside, right outside the classroom. So you could hear everything going on inside of the classroom. So each
hmm.
person went in. I mean, the audition was done, and then they were just like, okay, we'll let you know. And it was a
Okay.
really, really fast process.
Hmm.
Within I think 20 to 30 minutes,
Yeah.
they took our group, our small little 5 to 6 people group, outside, like outside the school, like in a playground. And
Mm-hmm.
what they did is they told us who made it, who didn't.
Like each group had a designated person assigned to the group, so they would take the group, and so out of those 6 people they would select one or two. So then she got in that round, she got selected to the next level. Then there were like another round, like all these
Ah,
rounds came on, and then that went on for, and then it was the next day also,
Yeah,
like
the
two
next
two
day, the next
consecutive
day
days.
we came back
So if
and
you get eliminated on the first day, you are out. But then she went through that whole day on Saturday, and then we were called back again on Sunday, and then on Sunday it was like they said we will call you at the
yeah, we
night.
will call you. We will
Like
no, they
yeah,
said we
because we
will
got
call
a
you
phone
within the
call.
next day. So we got
Yeah.
the phone call the next day.
Yeah, and then we don't know whether we have suppose because we have a return ticket to Kolkata, so we didn't know whether to stay back or they said okay. They said okay, we'll for sure let you know by the end of the day. But then we kind of knew because even though they did not tell us officially, but they were interviewing us, I kind of
Yeah.
got the vibe that probably she would go to the next round.
hmm.
So they were kind of interviewing some kids who we thought we finally saw when she got selected
Right
that
in the
okay
finals.
those were the
Okay.
kids who got
And
so
this happened, and this made you stay for like two whole months, and then
no,
Shoni
so what
went on.
happened is that after that, these were still the preliminary rounds where we were just living at our own expense, at our own cost. We made our own arrangements in hotel and wherever we were staying. We would just go to the venue to give the auditions. So
Hmm.
then, after those 2 days were over, after the several rounds, they said that after she got selected again on Sunday night, when we got the final phone call that yes, you are coming to stay with us. Now, next, they were like selecting the top 70 to come and go
Ah,
again stay in Mumbai in their Z building and get
hmm.
trained from the mentors over there. So
Got
they
it.
said, so they
Hmm.
still, so that did not start. So they said, okay, we'll give you a phone call. They did not know yet. They said, we'll give you a phone call when you have to come back to Mumbai again for that stay.
Got that.
So,
Huh.
so then we had to postpone our tickets to US because we had a return ticket back in December 16th. We had our return tickets.
Mhm.
We had to postpone that because we still didn't know when we have to go back to Mumbai again. So then they said, like at the end of December, we got a call that okay, now it's time. Like you have to come to Mumbai. So she and I went to Mumbai. At that time, everything was at Z. So we
Hmm.
just went there. Then we lived with all those 70 contestants, like one parent
Yeah.
and one kid. It was such a nice.
They're in
I
every
can
room.
imagine.
It was like a huge.
It was a huge building
It was a
where they were,
hotel. It
yeah,
was a hotel that I
owned
think
by Z.
Z.
Yeah,
No, not owned by Z,
yeah. I
but
think it was
Z
it
has
was a
a.
Z guest house kind of a
Yeah.
thing. So
Ah, okay.
So,
yeah,
so what they did is in every room there were
like
two
one
two
contestant, one
contestants
parent.
with their parents,
Yeah,
Got
or
it.
like with their one parent. I mean, they
Hmm.
didn't allow two parents, so there was
Oh, so
one contestant with one
you and
guardian.
mom were there. Got that. You and mom were there for
yeah.
your
Mhm.
She and then another contestant and both they would arrange it in that way. Like moms, if the dad went, then they would make the arrangements like that where the dad stayed. Like
okay.
so yeah, so
Oh,
that was, and then the breakfast and everything. It was like a huge picnic thing. They have their own cook, so they would so all their job, and it was such an intense training. Like they would say, okay, you come over there by 8, and 8 means 8 sharp. Like you cannot be there at 8:01. The room would close. The mentors would be there. The room would close. So by 8, they have to finish their breakfast and go. And then at that time, and it was such a nice experience for us. It was at that time like all the moms would gather in one room because the parents were not allowed, so we would just chit chat where the kids would go, and they would like be trained under the mentors, and there were all those
so
big
nice.
names that we had heard and seen on TV. So from 8 or from 9 to 1
9 to 1.
1 the 4 hours training from 9 to 1, and then 1 to 2 o'clock is your lunch time. Then again you go back to the practice room at 2, then 2 to 5, and then
2
they're
to 6.
2 to 6. Okay, so 2 to 6, and then after that they would provide their the tiffin and whatever the cooks made at that day. And then after that they said, okay, you don't have to come back to us, but we would expect you to practice, of course, because you are
Yeah.
here to sing. So you would see all the kids on the stairwell, they're practicing
Singing
singing. It was like such a positive experience with singing going around everywhere.
all the time. I know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Sounds so good. So,
yeah. And then
Sohini, you actually made it there. You made it to the top 50.
Yeah, so
I didn't make it to the top 15.
70. No,
I
not
didn't.
top 15, top
Uh-huh.
70. So then,
Top 70. Huh.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
then after that, so they were there, like we were there for like 1.5 months, and then they were calling groups of like 15 each on different dates. And then that was the best experience. Like then the main audition, like from where they would select the top
We had
15.
two practices on the main set, the
Yeah,
main stage. We had
Mhm.
two practices, and then it was the final day. It was a huge wait. I mean, there were like green rooms. They were getting us ready, and there's this huge, I guess, mansion, I guess you could say, where they were doing a lot of filming and a lot of like getting ready behind the scenes kind of things. And there were a few rooms to get ready, and there were makeup people, hair people. They did our makeup, they did our hair. It was I think 1.5 hour drive to the actual set
yeah.
from the
The bus
mansion.
would come. They would say, "We will pick you up
Wow.
at 6." So the bus would come at 6, and then they would take the parents and the
My
kids
God.
to the and that was the best experience. Like when we actually went to the Saregama set and perform in front
Beautiful.
of
It
like
was,
Richa Sharma and Shan and Amal Malik.
I
They
mean,
were the three
they
judges.
weren't there in the actual, like they weren't there in the
Practices,
practices,
but
but
they
they
were there
were
in the
there
actual audition.
the
The
actual audition.
final.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
It's
out
tough.
of there, they select the top 15 who are actually on the show of Saregamapa, where she couldn't make it to the top
Yeah.
15.
I'm sure the
So
competition must have been
it
killing,
was
right?
it was
It
immense.
must
Incredible.
have been
Yeah,
mind blowing. Yeah,
but
I
it
mean,
was
I've seen.
like
Hmm.
I can still visualize and feel that that excitement when we first went into the Saregama set. That it's so different. Like it's in the middle of this huge ground. Like
Yeah.
it looks so gorgeous, and it is gorgeous. The inside is
It looks
gorgeous,
like
but it's on a
run
on a
down
yeah,
from the
it's on a
outside,
big
but then when
rundown
you go in,
area.
it's beautiful. It's like the area is like
It's like a
flat
dream world when
land.
the lights go
I mean,
on.
there's other sets around too because it's like
Yeah, we saw the voice
it's
set.
Film City, I think.
Yeah,
Film
Dream
City.
City.
Bombay
So
has a lot of these campuses, huh, because it's
yeah.
all about Bollywood there,
Yeah,
right?
and they
But
said like, yeah, it's going to be demolished after the Sara. I said, wow, it's such a big set and it's
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
demolished. Oh, wow.
yeah. No, they make these boxes and then they,
Yeah,
these are all made for the event and then they have to remove it. So they hire the grounds to do it and then they sort of remove it. But excellent, right? What an experience, Shohini. What
yeah,
an experience that must have been, right? And I'm sure you kind of got to gauge a little bit about the kind of talent which is available around, right? Because all this time it's easy to sort of follow a passion and do it in your own way, but when you come for some things like this, you realize that wow, there's so many kinds of people and people who are doing beautiful stuff around. So you should in fact get as much exposure as you can. You never know, right? We were talking about how it is difficult to make a career, but all these folks, okay, people like Shreya Ghoshal, Arijit Singh, they've all come from this platform. They've all come from these very very uh, ordinary backgrounds. Just because of their talent they have been able to make it to the industry, and it's a fabulous industry to be in. Trust me, if you get into the singing space there, then there is no end. Your career can just be looking upwards and upwards. But so many possibilities, right? I mean, this is one thing. Always keep trying for, and I'm sure with a mom like Priosmita around, she'll never say no. She's actually taken off from, she had to take off from work for 2 months and be with you. So it's not easy, right? Always getting that kind of support. So we had this cause on the platform called how family is the center of one's life, and I completely believe that it's always the family who can make or break any individual's life, right? Because if you get the right kind of support, you'll end up making it that much better in your life, because you have so many people creating a foundation for you. So I think you're totally lucky, Shohini, and
Yeah.
I'm proud to be knowing you. I'm proud to be knowing Priyasmita, which is what I was telling her last night as well, because I know what it is when you have a very very tough situation in the family and the family doesn't connect to you as an individual. I have not been that fortunate, but I try to do what I can for my children, and I think every parent out there should be doing that, because we do see one thing that what I've realized is that just becoming a parent doesn't make you own anybody's life, right? So each child or each member in the family has an individual space, and I think a family needs to respect that you don't own another life. You just have to encourage, like the way you encourage a good friend, your colleague at work. Our job is to ensure that we just keep spreading positivity. We don't own that person's life, right? At the end of it, I think somewhere there lies the truth of happiness. Everybody then grows up to be a happy person. They are satisfied with what they're doing and all of that. So excellent. Before I go, and it was such a gripping conversation. I don't even feel like getting off this. But what's your Christmas message for all of us, Shohini? And you have to, also, so let mom wish, you wish, and then sing two lines for us before we leave. Okay, so that's the last two things I want, I request from both of you. And it'll be mom and daughter's duo. I don't know which song you
Oh,
can
no,
sing
no, 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 no,
together.
no, no. I'm
No,
not
no,
going
no,
to
no,
chase
no,
away
no,
your audience.
no, 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 no. That is not done. If Chodi says you sing well, Priosmita. You don't have an option now.
I have to pass that.
Very, very clever. Okay, Chodi, why don't you get started with a Christmas wish? Let's hear what you have to say to the other people listening to you.
So Christmas, I guess, is the season of giving and just joy. So I guess in this crazy situation that we're in this pandemic and so much negativity in the world right now, I guess the best thing we can give to everyone is just words of kindness, positivity, encouragement, and I think there's no other gift that's suitable for this time of year. That
I agree.
I mean, this year that we're in right now, this crazy situation. I think positivity, kindness, those are the best gifts that you can give to anyone.
Absolutely. I think very well said, Shoini. It's all about what you can value and reciprocate, right? This year it's about that. It's simple things, little things. Priyasmita, what's your message for the for the
Yeah,
for
I
the
kind of
for
echo
the
what she said. She kind of spoke my mind. So yeah, it's the same thing. This festive season is all about sharing and giving and spreading happiness, and yeah, that's what we should try our best to do. Yeah, to spread the
I know
positive.
red is the color of Christmas. It's a happy color. Both of you are dressed in
Yes,
red.
that's why we are actually dressed in red intentionally for Christmas.
So sweet. So excellent. So Shoini, two lines of anything that you want to sing. You don't have music. I'm sorry, I don't have any music for you, but anything that you want to, because I know that you're putting up a solo performance. This is for everybody, who doesn't know, because we've been announcing it in so many posts. So let me tell you when Shoini's solo performances. Shoini, you're playing a solo for us. Or as a solo. So there's a sequence of songs that you have put together. This is happening at 8 p.m. India time on Festivals of India across our social media channels. So everybody, please look forward to Sohini's performance. She's strung it up together herself, and she's an awesome singer. You'll get to hear her in a few seconds.
It's on December 24th, right? December 24th,
24.
8 p.m. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I haven't prepared anything, so
Oh,
To sing anything.
anything.
season of Christmas, I'll sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
No, that's fine. In fact, let us keep that a secret if you don't want to give it away. But I know you've put together so many songs, so people will enjoy them. Uh, do you have anything else that you wish to ask me, tell me, or say here before we bid bye?
Um, so one thing I want to say is I have a YouTube channel. I have originals and other covers and things like that. And I do put in a lot of effort on them, and I just hope to tell all the viewers that please check out my channel. Hopefully I have content on there that you will like.
What's it called? Why don't you spell it out for all of us?
It's called Shohini Chakraborty, so SHOHINI space CHAKRABORTY.
Got it. That's your screen name. So that's
Mhm.
where we can follow you, we can subscribe and see all the stuff that you're putting up together from there. And hopefully someday soon you're going to be back to India for another competition, and eventually, you never know. The whole the possibilities are endless, Shohini. So I'll have to run for an interview after. Okay.
I
Shohini,
want
can
to
I have
say
some
one more
time?
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You are amazing. I mean, during interviews and things like that, I usually get nervous, like super nervous. And with you, I'm just so chill. I'm so comfortable
That is
and
true.
just, I mean,
Yeah,
you make it fun. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I know, right? Because
interviews make me nervous.
I don't feel nervous, so I don't know how to pass it on. That's my
And
problem.
yeah, and she can vouch for that. I have extreme. I'm an extreme camera shy person, and I have extreme stage fright. I have never spoken so long on a camera before you.
Yeah, you
But
are
Rashmita, you stole the show today with that whole Saregama, the whole experience narration. I was lost in that, when you were speaking.
I think you made that happen. Like she said, you made that
I
happen.
actually felt I was with you guys out there, when you were. So you should do this more often. You guys are natural. Shoini, thank you so much. Prasmita, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
it was
thank
awesome
you.
to have you guys. Seriously, I will look forward to having Shoini now on the panel on Santa's Adda. So lots of fun stuff coming up. We actually don't let people sleep. Once you engage, we'll ensure that you celebrate the festival with
I
us
know
all the
you
way.
don't sleep. I know that from like our morning's experience. Like you have been awake till like 3 a.m. or past that in the
It's
morning.
four
I
actually.
don't know how you manage that, but hats off
Uh,
to you.
I don't manage. I
I
find
can't
I keep
even
fumbling quite a lot. Trust me. I have a very good partner called Suman Patnaik. She's in Detroit, and she calls me up and she's like, "Get up, you woman! You have lives." So I'm like usually texting her and going back to sleep, and then I'm like, no, no, I'm going to call back again. So she's actually my true spirit in partner, in the whole platform. So I just hope everybody gets a friend like that. You, Shoini, don't have to worry. You have a friend in mom, and she's super inspiring. So kudos to all of you. Yeah, seriously, I love families like this. So thank you so much. Stay inspired. Keep empowering each other, keep inspiring. And whenever you come to India, let me know, okay? Let me see what I
Yeah,
can do for
thank
you when you're
you.
here. Okay? Done. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank
Merry
you,
Christmas.
thank you, thank you, thank you. It's our
Bye.
pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. 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 Take care.